Welcome to an extraordinary journey through the X-Men universe. This fascinating world was born from the creative genius of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, two visionaries who revolutionized the comic book industry. The X-Men universe is more than just a collection of superheroes, it's an exploration of our own society reflected through the lens of the extraordinary. Each character, each storyline, is a study of human nature, a commentary on our strengths and weaknesses, our hopes and fears. In this universe, superheroes grapple with their powers and identities, exploring themes of discrimination, acceptance, and the struggle for equality. They're not just characters on a page, they're mirrors held up to our own world. The X-Men universe has left an indelible mark on the comic world, transforming our understanding of what it means to be a hero. So, buckle up and prepare for a ride full of thrilling action, heart-wrenching drama, and captivating characters. Let's dive into the captivating world of the X-Men characters. First, we encounter the mind behind the X-Men, Charles Xavier. Known by many as Professor X, Charles Francis Xavier is the man who founded the X-Men. Born into a world that fears and mistrusts those who are different, Xavier himself is a mutant, bestowed with extraordinary powers. His abilities are a double-edged sword. With the power of telepathy, he can read minds, project his own thoughts into the minds of others, and even manipulate the minds of his enemies. His telekinesis allows him to move objects with his mind, turning the tide in many a battle. But with great power comes great responsibility, and for Xavier, it also comes with a significant weakness. His paralysis, a result of a tragic accident, confines him to a wheelchair. Despite this, his mind remains as sharp and as potent as ever. Xavier's greatest nemesis is his on-again, off-again friend Eric Lensher, better known as Magneto. This complex relationship, oscillating between friendship and rivalry, has defined much of Xavier's journey. Despite their contrasting ideologies, Xavier's desire for peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants is often at odds with Magneto's more aggressive approach. But how did Charles Xavier become the leader of the X-Men? Xavier's dream of a world where mutants and humans live together in harmony led him to create the X-Men. He sought out other mutants, offering them a safe haven at his school for gifted youngsters. There, he trains them to control their powers, instilling in them a sense of responsibility and purpose. So where does Charles Xavier stand today? Despite numerous challenges and setbacks, he remains the leader of the X-Men. His steadfast belief in his dream continues to guide his actions. His commitment to his cause is unwavering, his leadership inspirational. He is not just a leader but a mentor, a teacher, and a friend to his team. Charles Xavier, the heart and mind of the X-Men, continues to lead his team towards a harmonious world. Next, we meet the wild and edgy Wolverine. Wolverine, known as Logan in his previous life, is one of the most iconic characters in the X-Men universe. His gruff exterior and rugged charm make him an intriguing figure, but it's his unique powers that truly set him apart. Logan possesses an extraordinary healing factor, allowing him to recover from virtually any wound, disease, or toxin at an accelerated rate. This regenerative healing power also slows down his aging process, making him appear much younger than his actual age. But Wolverine's powers don't end there. His skeleton, including his razor-sharp retractable claws, is laced with an indestructible metal called adamantium. This gives him an edge in combat as he can slice through virtually any material. However, even with these impressive abilities, Wolverine is not without weaknesses. Despite his physical strength and resilience, Wolverine is vulnerable to psychic attacks and mind control. This is a flaw that has been exploited by his enemies on more than one occasion, particularly by his longtime nemesis, Sabretooth. Their rivalry is legendary, fueled by a shared past and Sabretooth's relentless attempts to defeat Wolverine. Logan's journey to becoming Wolverine is a tale of tragedy and manipulation. He was subjected to the brutal Weapon X program where his skeleton was infused with adamantium. It was Charles Xavier, the leader of the X-Men, who offered him a chance at redemption and a place to belong. Xavier recruited Wolverine, recognizing his potential and believing that he could help him control his animalistic instincts. Since then, Wolverine has had a tumultuous relationship with the X-Men. He's often seen as a loner, preferring to operate on his own rather than as part of a team. Despite this, he has proven his loyalty time and time again, always standing by the X-Men when it matters most. In the current storyline, Wolverine continues to play a vital role. He may be a lone wolf, but he's also a fiercely loyal friend and a dedicated protector of those he cares about. His complex character and relentless spirit make him an integral part of the X-Men universe. Wolverine, the lone wolf of the X-Men, remains a force to be reckoned with. Now, we turn to the serene and powerful Storm. Known in the everyday world as Ororo Munroe, she is a character of compelling contrasts. Ororo hails from a line of African priestesses, all of whom have white hair, blue eyes, and the potential to wield magic. Her defining power is the ability to control and manipulate weather. This allows her to conjure up anything from a light drizzle to a raging hurricane. Storm can command the winds to carry her, enabling flight. She can also summon lightning from a calm sky, and create drastic temperature changes, giving her a wide array of atmospheric weapons. It's no wonder she's called the Weather Goddess. But every sun has a shadow, and for Storm, that shadow is claustrophobia. Trapped under rubble after a plane crash that claimed her parents' lives, Ororo developed a deep-rooted fear of confined spaces. This fear can incapacitate her, a vulnerability her enemies often try to exploit. Among her adversaries, Callisto stands out. The leader of the Morlocks, a group of mutants living in the tunnels beneath New York, Callisto sees Storm as a threat to her leadership. Their battles are charged with electricity, often quite literally. Storm's journey to becoming an X-Man is a tale of discovery. Professor Charles Xavier, the founder of the X-Men, recruited her in Cairo. Recognizing her potential, he offered her a chance to use her powers for a greater cause. Accepting his proposition, Ororo became one of the first female members of the X-Men team. Today, Storm stands as a beacon of hope and strength. Her leadership skills, honed over years of service, have even seen her take the reins as the leader of the X-Men in Xavier's absence. She's been a queen, a goddess, and a hero, but above all, she remains an X-Man, committed to the dream of peaceful coexistence between mutants and humans. Storm, the weather goddess of the X-Men, continues to command the forces of nature. Her story serves as a reminder that even amidst the storm, there is the potential for tranquility and control. Next up, we have the focused and strategic Cyclops. When it comes to the X-Men, few characters are as iconic or as complex as Scott Summers, better known as Cyclops. Born with the power to emit energy beams from his eyes, Cyclops is a force to be reckoned with. These aren't just any energy beams, mind you. Think of them as concussive blasts that can punch through steel and level buildings. Now that's an eye-opener, but every superhero has their Achilles heel. And for Cyclops, it's the inability to control his powers without his visor. Born into a world that wasn't ready to accept mutants, Scott Summers was a danger to everyone around him, including himself. His uncontrollable eye beams caused havoc until he was given a specially designed visor by Charles Xavier. This visor, equipped with ruby quartz lenses, allows him to control the intensity of his optic blasts. One of the most persistent thorns in Cyclops' side is the villain, Mr. Sinister. A geneticist with an unhealthy obsession with the Summers bloodline, Sinister has repeatedly targeted Cyclops and his family in his quest for genetic perfection. These encounters have often pushed Cyclops to his limits, testing both his strategic abilities and his commitment to the X-Men's cause. Speaking of the X-Men, let's talk about how Cyclops became a part of this extraordinary team. As a teenager, Scott Summers was discovered by Charles Xavier, who saw potential in him. Xavier took him in, gave him the visor that would allow him to control his powers, and made him one of the first X-Men. Cyclops would go on to become not just a member but a leader, guiding the team through some of their toughest battles. Fast forward to the present day, and Cyclops has gone through quite a journey. He's faced loss, betrayal, and even death, but through it all, he's remained committed to the X-Men and their mission to create a world where humans and mutants can coexist peacefully. Cyclops, the laser-eyed strategist of the X-Men, remains a steadfast leader. Now, let's meet the compassionate and complex Jean Grey. A vital part of the X-Men, Jean Grey is a powerhouse of psychic abilities. Born as Jean Elaine Grey, she was just an ordinary girl until her latent mutant abilities began to manifest. With telepathy, Jean Grey can read minds, project her thoughts into others, and even manipulate memories. This enables her to communicate silently and instantaneously, and is a valuable asset during missions. But that's not all. Jean Grey is also a telekinetic, able to move objects with her mind. She can create force fields, levitate, and even fly. It's a dazzling display of mental might. However, every hero has a weakness, and Jean Grey is no exception. Her Achilles heel is the Dark Phoenix, a powerful and destructive force that resides within her. It's a cosmic entity of pure psychic energy, and when it takes over, Jean's powers are amplified to a terrifying degree, often at the cost of her control and sanity. It's a constant struggle for her to keep this formidable force at bay. Among her adversaries, one stands out: Emma Frost. A fellow telepath with a knack for manipulation, Emma has often sought to exploit Jean's vulnerability to the Phoenix Force, leading to some intense psychic battles. Jean's journey to becoming an X-Men started when her powers first emerged. Overwhelmed and frightened, she was unable to control her telepathy and was bombarded by the thoughts of those around her. It was then that Charles Xavier, sensing her distress, stepped in. He taught her to control her abilities and eventually recruited her to his team of mutants, the X-Men. Today, Jean Grey remains a key figure in the X-Men. She's seen her share of challenges, battled formidable foes, and even faced death. But through it all, she continues to balance her power with compassion, always striving to use her abilities to help others. Jean Grey, the telekinetic telepath of the X-Men, continues to balance her power and compassion. And there you have it, an engaging history of the X-Men. We've journeyed through the lives of 6 incredible characters, each bringing their unique flair to this extraordinary team. We've delved into the mind of Charles Xavier, the leader whose telepathic abilities and vision for harmony guide the X-Men. We've treaded the lonesome path of Wolverine, whose self-healing and adamantium claws make him a formidable loner. We've felt the tempests of Storm, the weather goddess, whose power to control the elements is as awe-inspiring as it is terrifying. We've strategized with Cyclops, the laser-eyed strategist, whose tactical mind and optic blasts lead the team into battle. And we've explored the vast psychic realm of Jean Grey, the telekinetic telepath, whose mental prowess is both her greatest strength and most profound weakness. Each character, an essential piece of the X-Men puzzle. Join us again as we explore more fascinating worlds in the realm of comics. Until then, stay super.